It's pretty simple. Actually, what's in your control is everything inside of you. Your emotions, your thoughts, your actions, everything that you have a choice about is in your control. What's out of your control is everything else. Everything outside of you. People, places, situations, outcomes, everything outside of you is out of your control. Now this is huge and very important and powerful to know, because once you realize that everything outside of you is not in your control, you can stop frustratingly trying to control people, places, and events outside of yourself. So here's why this is so powerful. Because if some people set their goals to have these massive outcomes and change the world, but that can have a person end up feeling very frustrated because those things that are happening out there are not in your control. Now we all want to influence other people and influence the world, but what we must realize is what other people do is not in our control. It's up to them. And I think if you're like me, someone who has been hit over the head by myself so many times because I have tried to control other people, places, and events, mostly because I told myself this is out of love and I want their lives to be better, and if they'd only do it this way they could have so much more joy and success. But the thing is that everybody does what they do. Why? Because they do. Don't waste your time trying to figure it out, trying to figure them out. Everybody's just going to do what they're going to do. And if you're in there trying to explain yourself and get them to understand and trying to have them do different things and have them be nicer to you or have them do things for you because you did things for them, here's the deal. You did what you did. I did what I did because I chose to. And they do what they do not because of what you do. And they do what they do because they choose to. Right? So everybody is thinking different thoughts, and they do what they do based on what they're thinking. Now you can try to influence their thinking, but I mean, it's hard enough influencing your own thinking, much less someone else's. So if you want to have the most powerful life possible, then you want to focus on what's in your control. And what's in your control is, or let me say it this way, set your goals based on what's in your control. Okay, so let's say you're in a contest and you're competing with 50 other people and you really want to win this contest. So what's in your control? What you think, what you make up, the actions you take. That's yours. What's out of your control? Everybody else. What everybody else thinks, what everybody else makes up, what everybody else does, what the judges think, how people think of you, all that stuff is out of your control. People running around trying to get other people to think and do other things is a waste of time. But if you set your goals according to something that's in your control, like what you do and what you think and how you feel, because your feelings arise from what you think. So if you think a thought like, I'm going to do the best I can, and the outcome is out of my control, then you're setting yourself up to, if you don't win, you can say, well, look, my goal was to do the best I could, and I did that. And let's say you couldn't do anything more than the best you can, because that actually is the truth. You can't do any more than the best you can. Now, some people might use that as an excuse. You know, I did the best I could, I did the best I could, but did they really? When they didn't exercise and didn't take any action and didn't think thoughts that would serve them and think highly of themselves, is that really the best you can? Well, some people think, well, this is all I know. And they don't go out and try to study more. But guess what? That's what they do. Do you need to figure that out? No. Why? Because why would you focus on something that's frustrating and makes you resentful and you can't understand anyway. And even if you did understand it, it's still out of your control. There's still nothing you can do about it. So, going back to what is in your control. I'm going to do the best I can with what I know, and I know from truth and experience that I'm going to have a growth mindset. I'm going to set up my identity and my thoughts in a way that serves me, such as I have a growth mindset, which means I don't know everything yet. I know I'm not perfect, but I love learning. Now that's a good one. I love learning. If you set yourself up with that, just that simple little idea, I love learning, then the more you learn, the more options and possibilities you get for you. So set your goals up for something you can do. How about, if I learned something from this, it was a good experience. If I grow from this, it's a good experience. Now, you still can, this is not about, some people might say, oh, that's what losers say. But if you really did give your all to visualize the outcome you want and give your all to it, then that really is truly the best you can do. And then what other people decide about it is really up to them. So never beat yourself up for something that was out of your control. Something someone else decided, something someone else said, something that some way someone saw you or made fun of you or something. That's other people. That's out of your control. If you stay with what's in your control, then you can make up whatever you want about all that stuff. You can say, well, obviously that person can't see the beauty of me. That person can't see what's great about me, but I know it. And I'm not going to let something that's out of my control influence me negatively or make me think thoughts that don't serve me, because that's out of my control. So why would I let that influence me if it doesn't serve me? Now, if it serves me, I can say thank you, and if somebody's being kind or somebody's doing something for me, I can either accept it or not accept it, but I can't control it. It's out of my control. So just remember, everything inside yourself, in your control. And I'll give you more understandings about thoughts and feelings and emotions and actions and reactions and things that you can choose to do and practice to take yourself where you want to go. We have lots of skills and lots of strategies to help you with that. So everything you do in your control, everything outside of you, everything circumstantial, everything in your environment, out of your control. It doesn't mean you can't do things that make the environment better or get along with people or do things to preserve your own sanity in a crazy environment, but that's still something that's in your control. But the environment and what people do in it outside of you is not in your control. So the more power you'll have if you understand that and let it go and focus on what you can do to make your life the best it can be, to bring you from wherever you were to wherever you want to be. And if you include a whole bunch of other people in that and think you're going to pull their strings and get them to do things, what you're actually doing is putting yourself on a detour, because you're opening yourself up to people pulling your strings and getting you to do things for them. Because all someone really has to do is just stay mad at you. And if you try to get them to like you or try to do things for them in order to convince them of your okayness or convince them to do something for you, you're wasting a lot of time, and you can end up frustrated and resentful because they're going to do what they're going to do. In the end, you just got to let that be. Everybody does what they do. Why? Because they do. Done. Not because something happened when they were a kid, and now they're messed up in the head, and oh, they're really a nice guy, but they were drinking, or whatever. If it's out of your control, don't waste any brain time on it. Just let it be. It's out of my control. I focus on me, get myself from where I've been, where I was, to where I want to be. And that is in and out of my control. Now you know what's in your control and out of your control. This is Tia Turnbull of Champion of Champions on Keep It 100 series. This was episode number 6. Thank you for joining me. If you like these, subscribe, like, hit the bell, and you will be informed on when more videos come out. In the meantime, until until I see you next time, champion yourself to be a champion.